what everybody's here for. A discussion regarding the bike trails around the perimeter of the sledge field out on the bypass. I passed out a discussion format to those that I think will be participating. If you did not get one or just like one, it simply states the format that we're going to use. Mr. Jim Lee will start off, and we'll have 15 minutes to make a presentation to the board. That will be followed by Kevin Freeman, who will also have 15 minutes, and anybody else that he wants to bring up with him during that time. Following that, I believe that I'm aware of two guests that we've allotted for that Kevin has asked for allotted time. They will get 4 minutes each to make their presentation to the board, and then finally Ms. Ferris Ralston from the Friends of the River. And Ms. Ralston, if I got the name of that wrong, I apologize. I think that's correct. She will also have 4 minutes to come before us and speak. Following that, each board member will have an opportunity to ask a question of anyone present, if you so choose. If you don't, that's fine. Following that, we will allow each board member the opportunity to make up to a 2-minute statement on anything that's on your mind. And then following that is when the board will discuss amongst itself, which you were staying here for, but we will discuss everything that's been discussed previously today, and we'll entertain a motion as to where we want to proceed from there. Now, with that all said, and we'll get started with the presentations in just a minute. Just a couple things I want to share. This board, and this is primarily information for this board, that what I'm sharing now. I just want to make sure that you all are clear as to why we are here today. We're here to decide whether or not to make a recommendation to either reopen or keep the bike trails closed around the perimeter of the sledge field. Okay? Now, at the end of that discussion, the way I see it, you'll have basically 3 options. Okay? You can either recommend to the Board of Aldermen to keep it closed. You can recommend to the Board of Aldermen to reopen it. Or your third option is you can make no recommendation at all. You're not required to make a recommendation. So basically you have 3 options as I see it. There could be others. But something I want to say to everyone else is this is an oversight board. And this is an oversight board for the Recreation Department of Fayetteville. And we can only make recommendations. Any binding decisions have to come from the Board of Aldermen. I also want to say that this is not a discussion of whether or not to close or continue the sledge field. That does not fall under this board's view. With that said, I'm going to open up the discussion, and I'm going to ask Mr. Jim Lee to come forward at this time. Mr. Lee and Kevin, anyone else? I do have my stopwatch. You've been allotted 15 minutes. I will speak up for 13 minutes to let you know you have 2 minutes remaining. We have a lot of folks that want to speak today, so we're going to try to keep it as orderly as possible. So if you would give me just a second, we'll get started. You may begin.
Thank you, Boyd, for your time and the opportunity to speak to you. I know there are some tough decisions to make, so I ask that you listen carefully to all the speakers. I'll be making points, and they will too. Let me clear up a few things and dispel some rumors that have already been circulating around. The committee did not recommend closing the trails on the Don Davidson. Those would still be there. Matter of fact, I've been at the last 2 cyclocrosses. I've been at the actual fun, run, and walk, and I've attended all these. On the first cyclocross, the trails were used. They were fun. We had riders there the first day, a fun ride. Second day, we had a day for points. There were probably over 100 cars that were involved with the cyclocross. We did sell out the hotels, and the hotel owners were very pleased with that. The Imagination Library, in the 5K run, walk, they raised dollars very well for the Imagination Library. And this is dollars that goes for kids who are from 0 to 5. They get a free book. There was probably 150 cars there. Good turnout. A lot of people there. I was counting the cars from all over. The second cyclocross I attended this past weekend, it was not for points. It was about 50 cars that were there. I'd say there's 25 plus bike riders. Not many families, but a lot of riders. A lot of fun was had by everyone there. Let me go into a little history. The minutes from the board meeting of February 2009, Kevin Freeman had brought before the board about fixing bike trails at the Lions Club complex. Ricky said that we have to present this to the state and the Lions Club. Kevin said that volunteers would maintain these trails. Michael Stewart offered a motion to start the process of getting these trails done, seconded by Linda Schoenrock and approved by the board. This was the recommendation that went to the actual board of mayor and aldermen from there. Then the minutes from the board of mayor and aldermen, October 2009. Bike trail. Motion made by Joe Askin, seconded by Dorothy Small, to allow construction of the bike trail to take place on city property. Upon roll call, unanimous opinion. Nowhere in either one of these minutes do I see that it was approved to go on to the lease field. It was presented that the idea would be on the city property down Davis, not the lease field. I share some responsibility, and I will take it under advisement because I did approve a Boy Scout to do a riparian zone and to put up bluebird houses as well as wire. But I was under the impression that the site was going to be in a different place. It's my fault. I didn't go out and check that. So I take some responsibility for that. Some of the changes came about, though, when FPU had their annual inspection. They have an annual inspection, yearly inspection, and on that, TDEC basically said for the first time, they saw they had trails on the actual biosolid field. They had not noticed it before. So with that in mind, they were requesting several things. A border, some way dividing between the two properties with mixed uses, the trails and the biosolid. They also had some signs that had to be there. Mayor Gwen Shelton appointed a committee of 4 to look into this matter. September the 2nd, 2009, the FPU made a presentation before you, and that was when they had the findings and they had some examples of fencing. This past Wednesday, FPU had a board meeting, and at that board meeting, TDAP came down. And Mayor Underwood reported to me that TDEC said there were no managerial disciplinary actions. There were no discrepancies. They presented that to that board. There may have to be hay cut in the future, but they made that presentation. TDEC is safe. They say that it's safe. It has been approved, a form of disposal. It is accepted. Biosolid is an accepted method by an approved agency. The biofield provides soil enhancement. It's been used on farms, city parks, city land. All this has been used in the past. Neither agency, TDAC nor EPA, sees a problem with the water, the air, or wildlife. They are our experts in this because they're the ones who have the professional training. There are two uses on one land. That's what causes the problem, the mixed